Happy Thanksgiving! Today on the show, I'll be giving you some tips on cooking in the new world. But sadly, we can't cook any turkey because I filmed this during the pre-beta and I can't go back to film anything else. So let's start, shall we? This is the cooking station. You can tell it's the cooking station by all the meat and food stuff hanging down over the tables. And also, it looks like a cooking station. As you can see, different foods give you different buffs. Some food gives buffs against monsters. Some helps you refill your health or mana. Some foods help you with crafting, and some foods help you with gathering. You can also craft clothing dyes at the cooking station. This is because dyes are made from plants, and you usually set the dyes in boiling water over a stove or wood fire. We'll be looking at the buffs against mobs today. As you can see, bread dishes are good against the angry earth. Chicken dishes are good against the ancients. Those are the skeletons. Eggs are good against animals. Meat dishes are good against the corrupted. And fish dishes are good against the lost. To remember this, you can use a simple mnemonic device. The skeletons are made out of bones, so just remember chicken bones. The corrupt are red, so remember red meat. The lost are pirates, and seamen eat seafood, so think fish. If you think about it, it kind of makes sense. For animals, I think of foxes. Foxes eat eggs, and that only leaves bread and the angry earth. So remember this. Chicken bones, red meat, pirate fish, animal eggs, and bread. I don't know who the green guys that throw slime at you are yet, but I'll ask around. If you don't want to memorize this, you can always click on the K key on your keyboard, then go to Trades menu, and then to Cooking, and see which ward you need to equip. An easier way would be to equip your buffs before you leave the settlement to go on a quest. So if you didn't get that part, you just remember chicken bones, red meat, pirate fish, animal eggs, and bread. You just memorize those 5 things. And that tells you which thing you need to equip. In the first slot, you want your healing potion. If you're a mage or using a magic weapon, you'll want a mana potion in the second slot and food in the third slot. If you aren't a mage, then you want healing potion in the first slot, food in the second slot, and anything you want in the third slot, like a cure of some kind. Of course, memorizing the foods is the easiest way and saves a lot of clicking back and forth. Chicken, eggs, red meat, seafood is fish. Now let's look at the tiers and I'll give you a tip you may not have considered. As you can see, there are 5 tiers and the buffs get bigger the higher the tier. What does this mean and how can it help you? Well, look at this number. It says I'm level 35 in cooking, but down in the corner it says my character's level is only 24. My cooking level is higher than my fighting level. This is good because the higher my character's level, the tougher my enemies are to fight. Let me explain. Let's say I am level 1 and my enemy is level 4. If I eat a tier 1 food, I get a 1+ buff. That might be good against a low-level monster, but against a level 15 monster, it isn't anything, because the level 15 monster is a lot tougher and can shrug off the extra defense point no problem. But if I'm level 1 and I eat a level 3 food, well, that food is stronger, so I get a +10 buff. A +10 buff against a low-level monster would be great and make the fight much easier. Against a level 15 monster, it would also be good because +10 is a lot. To make a long story short, you always want your cooking level to be higher than your character's level, so you can get the best possible buff. You're basically using big buffs against smaller enemies instead of using small buffs against bigger enemies. Did you get that? I didn't explain it very well, but you can just rewind and listen again if you didn't. You want the buffs to be bigger than your enemies. That means you shouldn't ignore cooking. Cooking is probably one of the more important crafts you can do. It's controversial, I know. Now let's say you craft a lot of foods. Now what do? Well, I have tips for that too. First, you need to set some rules for yourself. For instance, you can say, I'm going to cook more anytime I have 5 items or less, and I'm going to sell anything over 20. Just stick to that little rule and you'll never run out of food. You can make up your own rule. I just used that one as an example. If you level up your tier and get stuck with lower level food, you can sell it on the trading post. And I have a tip for that too, but you're not going to like it. First, you should sell some in the settlement you're in. Then you should travel and sell some more in a different settlement. Like if you get stuck with 20 extra, sell 10 in town and 10 somewhere else. This is because people won't travel to get food like they will for armor or weapons. Not many people know you can click on this little drop down up here to search all settlements for the item you want to buy. But I do, and I do it all the time. I don't mind traveling for better weapons or armor. Those are things I'm going to be using for a while. But I never travel for food. I don't think anybody else does either. That means you have to take the food to them. It's like delivery. Would you walk all the way across the map for some broccoli soup? Probably not, right? But for a powerful sword or something, yeah, you would. Now, if you have food against ancients, maybe sell it in Windsward, because it's near all the obelisks. That's where the skeletons are. Or just sell it next time you go on a quest and stop in a different settlement. It doesn't matter where, but logic would say maybe sell it near the mobs it wars against. You don't really have to do that, though, unless you want to be nerdy about it. It's too much work, but it could help sales. Try it and see. No, I don't do it, but maybe I'll try it after this video. So there you have 5 cooking tips to be thankful for in Amazon's new world. 1. Memorize the foods you need for mobs. Chicken bones, red meat, seafood is fish. Pirates are fish. Angry Earth, bread. It's easy. 2. Utilize your slots efficiently. Maybe healing potion in slot 1, mana potion in slot 2, and food in slot 3. What you don't want to do is put a tincture or a coating in one of the slots, because you might use it by accident. 3. Craft higher than your level. You want to get food buffs that are higher than the enemies you're fighting. That way the buff gives you more of a buff. That means you have to start crafting food earlier. Now this tip is just for cooking. The other crafts have their own tips. 4. Make rules for yourself to manage your inventory, so you don't get stuck with a whole bunch of stuff, or so you don't run out. A simple rule is craft more food when you have 5 or less, and sell anything over 15 or 20 or whatever. You can make your own rules. I'm not the boss of you. 5. Travel to sell your extras. People won't come to you for food. Think about it. Would you travel across the map for food? Probably not, right? It's not that important. But a sword or a weapon, a powerful shield? Yeah, you would. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. Okay. And finally, would you like a bonus tip? I'll give you one if you subscribe. 6. Memorize the plants. Cranberries are red, regular berries are blue, squash has pretty yellow flowers, and carrots have white. Nuts are harder to find because they look like dried branches. But once you get to the point where you can see food with your eyes instead of using the compass, food will become a lot easier to find. The compass only scans a small area around you, but your eyes can see a lot farther. You can see corn growing halfway to the horizon. Corn is tall. It looks like corn. And that's it for the Thanksgiving cooking show. If you liked this video and found it informative, why not subscribe? Because I have new videos every week. Happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate it. If not, then happy Thursday. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode.